नमस्कार दोस्तों. Today's talk is about the difference between 15th of August and 26th of January 1950. Many of us still not aware about this particular difference between these two dates. So I'll try to demystify these two dates, and I'll also be telling you why these particular two dates came into existence. One as a Indian Independence Day and the another one is the Republic Day. Please understand these dates are not being given by one individual or somebody or the other. These dates actually came into existence out of certain circumstances or out of certain things which is being given to us, right? So let us just discuss how the 15th of August came into existence. So we all know that before 15th of August 1947, we were the colony of British rule. So anything that is to be governed in our country, that means the legislative part, the executive part, or the judiciary part, everything was being decided by the British Parliament. So we all are aware about this particular fact that before 1947, we were governed by the Government of India Act 1935, which was being made in the British Parliament only. In the July month in 1947, England or the British rule, they have passed a particular act called Indian Independence Act 1947 in the month of July itself. And it was being passed by both the House of Lords and House of Commons. And it got the assent of the King George, those who were the emperor at that point of time in England. So he signed that. Now, in that particular act, it was mentioned that by this particular date, that is the 15th of August 1947, India will become a dominion country under the British rule itself. Now let us discuss what do we mean by dominion country. Basically, when we say that some country is having the dominion status, that means the country is entirely independent, nothing to do with that particular state. For instance, England has no intervention in all the policy making, how the country is going to be governed, everything. So we do not, that British rule do not have any intervention into it. But just for the paperwork, we were being called as the under the dominion status. So King George still may be called as a head of state when we were having the dominion status at that point of time. So one thing I think is clear to you that 15th of August 1947 is the date that is written in the Indian Independence Act that was being enacted in the month of July 1947 in British Parliament. The other aspect that I would like to highlight today is that in that Independence Act, Indian Independence Act, it was being mentioned that meanwhile, till the time India is coming up with its own constitution, so obviously they have allowed Indians to actually make their own constitution. So in November 1946 itself, the constitution, the committee was being, we call it Samvidhan Sabha, was being framed at that point of time in the month of November 1946 only. And from December 1946, drafting of the constitution was actually started at that point of time itself. So coming back to the Indian Independence Act, what they have said into it, they said that once the constitution came into existence, what is being prepared by the Indian itself, so they can make that particular constitution, and in that particular constitution itself, they can actually repeal all the existing acts. So once when they can also repeal the Indian Independence Act, they can also repeal the Government of India Act, which is regulating the right now the Indian economy or Indian territory itself. So they can repeal both of them. At the same time, they were being given all the rights in terms of repealing all the existing laws into it, right? That is being given by the British rule itself. So this is how 15th of August 1947 came into existence. Now let us just talk about 26th of January 1950. So there are two dates and we are very much confused in these two dates. One is the 26th of November 1949 when the constitution was being adopted. Everybody signed it. So all the members of that Constitution Sabha, the Samiti, they have signed on that particular day itself. That was on the 26th of November 1949 itself. Why they took that particular time period and why we celebrate the Republic Day on 26th of January itself? That is the dilemma, and people are not being able to understand what is the reason behind it. The main reason is this, that when the constitution was being signed by all the members on 26th of November 1949, in that particular constitution itself, they said that this particular constitution is going to be commenced only on the date that is 26th of January 1950 only. But please remember that there were few provisions like 15 provisions of the constitution came into existence, came into force right from that day only when everybody signed the constitution and everybody accepted the constitution itself. I'll just share the screen and just make you see that particular articles which came into existence on the very day when the constitution was being adopted. You can just see in this particular article, that is Article 394. This is if you remember, in original constitution there was only 395 articles. So in this article, 15 articles like this came into force there and then on 26th of November 1949 itself. Now, here itself is a very important point that I would like to mention. Why 26th of January was written in the Constitution in the 394 article itself? The point is that on the day, that is the 31st of December 1929, Indian National Congress was holding its Lahore Adhivesion in Lahore itself, obviously. There, the Jawaharlal Nehru was at that point of time the president of the Indian National Congress. Now, he declared at that point of time, many were arguing about the dominion status to be taken from British rule. He argued at that point of time that no, we need the full self rule. We do not satisfy ourselves with the dominion status. We want the full rule. So in that declaration itself, Jawaharlal Nehru have said that on the day that is the 30 days from now, so 31st of December 1949, so he was talking 26 days, 26 days from now, that is 26th of January 1930, we will take the full self-rule from the British India itself. Now, on that day itself, Indian National Congress declared that we will be independent only after 16, just in the day, 16 days margin from now, will take the self-rule from the British India itself. Fortunately, unfortunately, we could not achieve that. But later on, it was in the concept of Indian National Congress that they assume that this particular date that is being declared at the Lahore Adhivesion in the 1930 itself, that is going to be the day of full independence. So when the constitution was going to be adopted on the 26th of November 1949, they made it clear that in that constitution itself, in the Article 394, they mentioned that the Republic Day that we are going to celebrate only on the 26th of January 1950 itself, that the day was being declared in the Lahore Adhivesion in 1929 itself. So I think I have tried my best to demystify this particular concept, why these two dates are important, and how these dates are being these dates actually came into existence. So thank you very much, all of you. Best of luck and keep learning, keep going. Thank you very much.